Oyabunmi, Daydream Austin. Welcome to another episode of My Orisa Journey. How are you? I hope you are well. I'm doing alright, just hanging around, writing books and making videos. Good to see you again. So today I wanted to touch on a particular Odu that's been standing out for me. Or a verse of an Odu that's been standing out for me, and this Odu is Otura Meji. And the lines that have been standing out for me are, if you do good, you do so for yourself. If you do wickedness, you do so for yourself. And the story goes, there is this blind beggar, right? And he walks from town to town, and his way of begging, asking for alms, food, money, is by saying, if you do good, you do so for yourself. If you do wickedness, you do so for yourself. And people appreciate this style of begging. It's like a philosophical way of kind of making them look at themselves, right, and say, well, if I do this for him, then I'm doing something good for myself, and vice versa. But one day, he says this in front of an Oba, a king. And this king, for some reason, just does not like that this blind beggar is walking around saying this over and over again. And it seems like when I read it, it felt like the spirit of the king, of the Oba, that it was vexed, right? It was just like, oh, how dare he? Like, he felt like, oh, no, he did not. How dare he say that? And it touched something in him, but not a good thing. So the Oba is pissed, and he's like, okay, that's it. I'm going to show this beggar. How dare he say that? And I don't know why this statement bothered him so much. So the king calls his best hunter, and he sends him to go get a cobra. The hunter brings back a live cobra. The king puts it in a bag, right? And then the next time he comes across the blind beggar, he gives this bag with the cobra, the live cobra in it, to the beggar. So the beggar is happy, and he's exclaiming, if you do good, you do so for yourself. If you do wickedness, you do so for yourself. He takes his bag, he thinks he's got this cool gift, and he's just living it up. Little does he know. So he's walking off with this bag, and is really happy to have this gift. But the son of the Oba, he notices that his father gave this blind beggar a gift, and he became envious. He became jealous. He did not like this, and he decided to do something about it. So he goes up to the beggar, and this is after the father is out of the picture and all of that. He slaps the beggar 3 times and takes the bag. And, he goes off, and the beggar, of course, you know what he says, right? If you do good, you do so for yourself. If you do wickedness, you do so for yourself. That's all he says to this attack. So the son goes off and eventually opens the bag. And what does he find? This cobra. The cobra strikes him, and he dies. Now the father, the Oba, finds out. And he is so distraught. But he doesn't feel that it's the right thing to do to pay the beggar back for his son's death. And he's just really, really like, oh no, I can't believe this. Oh my goodness, right? But I'm looking at this story and just thinking about the words that the beggar was saying over and over again. And I use this as a mantra for my life. So when I'm going through life, and there are days when I come across people and situations that really test my patience. Like, super duper test my patience. And I'm an Oya, so it's not hard to test my patience. I'll be ready to go. Come at me, bro. I'm like that. So, I'm reading this and I'm like, wow. It stands out to me that Ifa is saying, whatever you put out is what you get. So sometimes we talk about karma, right? We hear, oh, what goes around comes around. Ifa is saying pretty much, whatever you put out into the world is what you receive in return. So this is why I'm not a big proponent of sending witchcraft to people. Like, some people are really big on that. And if someone pisses them off or comes at them the wrong way, they are going to Orisha. They are trying to do some type of ritual to hurt somebody, to consciously and intently send, negativity to someone else. I've never really felt comfortable with that. If you have to protect yourself, that's one thing, but somebody makes you mad or disagrees with you, to go and do that, I don't think that's the right way to handle things. And now I see why that's kind of been like my way. If you do good, you do so for yourself. If you do wickedness, you do so for yourself. So if you're sending negativity, it will come back to bite you, literally. Like, I feel like it doesn't even go that far from you. I feel like you end up stewing in it. So maybe it does impact someone or affect them, but I feel like you literally stew in your own juices. So if you're sending out wickedness, you're stewing in wickedness. If you're trying your hardest to send out good, then you're stewing in good. So even though I have that spirit of come at me, bro, where I'm ready to pop off, I'm always going to take that moment and remember that what I put out is what I get back. So if I'm putting out aggression, I have a nasty attitude, and I'm mad and angry and all of that, that's going to come back to me. But if I'm trying to be at peace, if I'm walking in peace and with a gentle character, that is what I'm going to exude, and that's what is going to come back to me. And then another thing I noticed about this story is, now we see that the Oba, the way that his wickedness impacted him was through the death of his child, of his heir. And this is the things I think about. So when you're doing this wickedness, right, when you're sending negativity, when you're stewing in this, it's not even just you. Now you have the generations behind you that can basically be hurt by these things that you've done, by these things that people do. So it's very important to think about that. When you think about the beggar and the king, the beggar is just trying to make his way in the world, and he's saying, you know what, if you do good for me, this is going to come back to you. And this vexed the king's spirit. He retaliated, and his retaliation ended up in his own demise, right? He didn't die, but he lost a part of himself. He lost his legacy because of his wickedness. So just remember, when you out in the world, whatever you do is your own. Like, it's something that you're going to carry with you. If you do good, you do so for yourself. If you do wickedness, you do so for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I pray that Olodumare and Ifa and your Ori will guide you, will support your well-being, and support the fulfillment of your destiny. I pray the same for me, Ashe. Oh. And don't forget to visit my website, daydreamaustin.com. Make sure you subscribe for email updates, because, yeah, I'm doing a lot on my blog, and I want you to be able to keep up. And as always, you might get some exciting updates and news and stuff like that. So, yeah, check it out. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.